Well, hello guys, it's DragonComa coming today with a discussion on this card and why I think it's so important. Now, you may be wondering why I'm doing a Why is MST Still Important video, considering Star Strike Duelist already did one. However, what I'm doing is because there's a bigger reason, I think, behind why MST is going to still be important. If you didn't notice, throughout the past few YCSs actually, and just online in general on DN and stuff, and also the fact that I've seen deck profiles on the WCQ, people have been citing this card out game 2, game 3, whatever, and maybe just playing 1 or 2 in the main deck. And some decks have actually just cut this card altogether. And I'm here to explain why it's still important right now, and it's going to be even more important to play this card in the upcoming formats, especially from right now, because it's just important. But I wonder why it's been dropping in popularity. But anyways, we all know why it's been dropping in popularity, and it's because of this guy, and Sanctum and Ignition, which I don't have. But this guy, basically you can set him in as a spell or trap. Everybody knows this guy, and if he's destroyed on your opponent's turn, then it can pop anything on board. And that's just really annoying, and I understand why people don't want to play this card anymore, considering this thing is running around with Sanctum and Ignition. But here's the reason why MST is so important. First of all, here's just a list of cards that MST is good for getting rid of. Bottomless, Torrential, Solemn Warning, the 3 destruction cards that have ruled this game so well. Not to mention the new Wiretap, which is very annoying. 7 Tools is also kind of one, but nobody plays 7 Tools that much anymore. Nightmare. Considering that D-Prison and Mirror Force are going back up to 3, I would play MST in almost any deck, because I don't want to run into either of these. Compulsory, because if you can make them compulse prematurely, that's a good thing, because you can't chain this card, and sometimes there's nothing to compulse, so you just get rid of it. A lot of people have been playing Call of the Haunted more, and if you destroy Call of the Haunted, their monster's gone. And not to mention Blackhorn as well. Blackhorn's been seeing a lot more play, so you definitely want to MST that. Horn is the counterpart of this card isn't bad either, but nobody plays that. But I would MST that as well. This is also a good card to MST. And going on to the side deck options that you want to MST, this thing, because if you're playing something like Trap Tricks, Hat stuff, like the Hat deck, or Evil Storm, Constellar, this card absolutely wrecks them. That's why you want MST there. Goes in Match, I know these cards aren't sided that much anymore, but still. Same thing with Goes in Match. I'm actually surprised nobody's sides Goes in Match, especially in like Sylvans and stuff. But especially this card, it wrecks Hat and a lot of other big decks out there. I know this one can negate it, but nobody's gonna negate MST that targets a Dark Bribe, because they're gonna +1. And finally, for the last side deck option, DNA Surgery, because it wrecks a lot of decks as well. And some other cards I didn't add in here, like Save Zones, Royal Decrees, Macro and stuff. Those things also wreck a lot of today's games, and that's why you need MST. I remember people were like, oh, I'm cutting MST for this and this, and I'm just like, why are you cutting MST? Because there's so many cards that you need an MST. Those are just traps. Spells are a little bit less, but stuff like Forbidden Lance, because if they lance prematurely, then then you lower their attack by 800 and you get over it. Nobody's citing Prohibition anymore, but it's still a really annoying card if you're playing against it. D-Fissure, and I said earlier, Macro, these things just wreck decks because everything's graveyard oriented. Even if you MST another MST, you are safe from destruction. So that's very important. And now for my Spellbook theory, because with the new ruling and such, Spellbooks might see a comeback because their tower cannot be destroyed by another thing, so they have endless pluses, and you need to MST this thing early. Although they will get 1+, maybe not even that great of a plus, you need to get rid of this, because if you don't MST it, they will continually plus over and over again. And not to mention Fate. and as well with the Spellbook theory, because everything's on trap negation these days, and Spellbooks don't really rely on that, and considering now this new ruling, this thing is like just going to stay there forever, and you need to get rid of it quickly. And about Fate, if you make them Fate prematurely as well, like I've actually lost because I fated prematurely because someone MST'd it. They've OTK'd me and stuff. This thing, if you can make it go off prematurely, then the Spellbook player has pretty much lost, because it's their one way out to everything. And so, and finally, for the future thing, why this card's very important, as I said, for the current format as well as the upcoming formats. Pendulums are going to be a thing, and they're considered a spell trap into the pendulum zone. So you can just MST them, and yeah, and they won't get their summon off, because pendulums are actually quite inconsistent right now, and I still think they're going to be inconsistent in the future, but this thing will just get rid of them very quickly, and they can't pendulum summon, and they're stuck with monsters in their hand. So that's why I think it's very important right now and in the current formats, because as I said, there's so many traps out there still that can just ruin your day, and stuff like that, and spells as well, and pendulums coming into the game. You need MST. MST is just such an important card. I don't know why people are cutting it. I mean, I'm guilty of this too. I've been playing 6 Sams lately on DN, and I've actually cut MST from the deck altogether. I mean, I do have Shien to negate things, but I found MST essential in almost all my decks. And I understand Traptrix is running around, but Traptrix aren't the only deck that's running around. There's Lightsworns, Geargias, just so much junk that I don't want to deal with. And not everybody is going to be playing artifacts in their deck, so why are people taking out MST? I don't know. I may just be blind and ignorant, but from what I've seen, people have been taking out MST, including myself. So I hope you found this discussion video somewhat helpful. I'm sorry I haven't been uploading for a while. I've gotten very lazy with my uploads, so forgive me on that. But I hope you guys enjoyed this little discussion, and this is DragonComa, signing out till next time.